Okay, everybody, so I'm going to go through the supplies I'm going to use to create these waxed papers. These are the papers I'm going to use. This is just some craft paper. It is from an envelope that I didn't use. I'm going to try tissue paper, just some regular brownish type tissue paper. These are some collage postcards, like collage sheet that I got off Etsy, kind of like these. That's what they are. This is what I used to create the ones that I made earlier. Here's the other versions, what they started out as, and we'll kind of go through how I made the ones that I showed you. Let me show what I'm talking about. So like, here's what I mean. This is how it started out. This is how it ended up. So we'll go through that. And then I have some regular just copy paper that I'm going to show you how to create, how I created this one, which is regular copy paper. I'm going to use stamps on this one though. So we'll kind of go with that. So you're going to need some papers. You're going to need something to heat up your wax with. I have this little tiny iron, but you can use a regular iron. Just make sure that you don't use it for anything else. I'm going to use some just pastel chalk. I'm going to use a variety of oxide ink sprays. And that's definitely going to need, this is called just like embossing powder, like super fine embossing powder. You're going to need a candle. This is just an old candle that I have that I use for waxing papers. And so you're going to need that. And if you want to add stuff in, like, you know, I have some like distress glaze and stuff like that. If you have any colors you want to add, you can add that in there. If you have, if you want to stamp your papers, you can, like, this is a stamp version of that. You can stamp it. You can grab a stamp and use that. I'll show you how to do that. If you want to grab like a crayon to add some other colors to it, you can. And some glitter also. I have glitter and gold leaf right here. And just glitter, if you want to add glitter into yours, that's totally fine too. So we're going to jump in. And the last thing you're going to definitely need is parchment paper and paper towel. The parchment paper is where you're going to sandwich your these papers in between. And then the paper towel is going to go underneath it because that's what's going to kind of soak up the wax for you if you don't want to get it on your work surface, because it's not fun to clean up. And then a cheese grater is going to be needed to do this. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is we're gonna start off with this just a regular blank sheet of paper, and put these up here. And so this one is going to start off as this. I'm going to stamp this with just a fun stamp. So this is the stamp I'm going to use for this one. Got it on sale a while back. And I'm going to stamp it. It's not all the way. Is it on there? I don't know if it's all the way on there or not. Maybe it is. Okay. I think I kind of want. I'm gonna go this way. Ooh, so cute. And then I'm just going to stamp this other side here to create some sort of design there. So that's what that looks like that. And then I'm going to take one of my chalks to add some color to it. So I think I'm going to go with like a light, maybe like a light, this color. I don't know what color this is, but we're going to do this color. And just sort of go over it in random places. You don't want to color the whole entire thing. You want to just be random with your color. So it's kind of like that. Go back out this way. And just add some color in random spots. Like that. And then you're going to grab some parchment paper. Parchment paper. This is parchment paper. And you want to grab enough to be able to sandwich your image between it. So this is obviously way too much. So I'm going to cut this in half. I don't need this much for this one. I don't want to waste it. So I'm going to use this for another version we're going to do. And fold it in half to kind of just create, because parchment paper is really finicky and it's going to like want to curl up. So if you fold it in half, it kind of makes it stay a little bit better, I guess, sometimes. So we'll kind of anchor those down. All right, so then you have your parchment paper, you have your stamped image on your white paper. You've added some color to it. I'm gonna add some more to this because the parts I color, because who knows what it's gonna end up looking like. All right, so you're gonna get your candle and you're going to get your grater, your cheese grater, and you're going to just grate some wax onto your paper here. So I have, I used blue crayon on this earlier, and so it's on the back there, and so I'm going to have blue specks in mine, which is completely fine. I think it adds to it. So you're going to put that on top of that, just like that. Sorry, this is moving around, guys. Just like that. And then you're going to add some additional, stuff to kind of distress it. So I'm going to add some of this on the edge, my black embossing powder. And I'm just going to stick my finger in here and sort of like, just like tap it together like this as I'm going through. So let me make sure you can see what I'm doing here. So I'm just sort of tapping it through to get it on the edge of my paper, my image. And you want to get a lot on your fingers if you want to add that on there. Like that. And kind of just do that. Okay, that's good for me. And then I'm going to decide what color I want to add onto my paper. So I should have done this before, but I'm going to kind of move this to the side because I want to add some oxides on the bottom of this. And so I'm going to decide what colors I'm going to use. I'm going to use this, the new Kitsch Flamingo color that was released I think this year, last month maybe, in February. So I'm going to put some on the bottom of this. So just on the bottom of it a bit. And it's going to kind of beat up a little bit because of the parchment paper. It's not going to soak it in. Then I'm going to carefully put this back on top. So before you do this, make sure you put your oxide inks on the bottom, because don't be like me. And then I'm going to put some more on the top. Just a few little, you know, here and there. Then I'm going to add some more wax on top of it. So just great. And look at that. Look how the oxide ink is already like oxidizing, and it's really beautiful. So I love that already. And do that. Get that good in there. I actually want to add a little bit more black on this other side here, because I don't think some more embossing powder there. Okay. So let's fold this over. Fold this over. And you're going to take your iron and you're going to just iron it. Okay. So make sure this iron is only going to be used for waxing stuff. So there's my blue that's coming through. And if you want to smear it, you can. It's going to create a different effect to it, but you can use it to paint. And this is where the painting part comes in. You can use the iron to kind of move stuff around sometimes. If you want to like smear that, like my embossing powder, I want to smear my embossing powder, I'm going to use my iron to do it because it's melted. Okay. And then I'm just going to let my image cool down a bit. You can flip it over also to kind of see what's happening on the back too. But I like to kind of just rub it and cool it down. I don't know why. It makes my hands warm, which I also like. And it's kind of nice. So it's getting cool. And once it's cooled down, you really can just, you know, open it up. and see your work of art. And it's just, ooh, I like it. It's really gorgeous. And it'll just peel right up off of that. And on the edges, you can just, you know, kind of go back and just brush off the extra wax that kind of got to the edge there. But then you get this beautiful little piece of, I guess, ephemera, or not really ephemera, but like something to work with, you know. And there's the back side. I just love how that looks. And so if you want to like layer it in something like again, you know, journal or something like that, you can put it into like a blank page. And I just think it just adds so much to those. So you want to put that on there, and you can see you can see what's underneath it, which is really cool, or in there, whatever. So that's the first one. So there's our first one. So we initially went from a blank piece of paper to this, which I think is just gorgeous, and it's wax. Okay, that's the first one. Set it aside. All right, so I'm going to do, let's see what I want to do here. That's the first one. I'm going to do one that has one of the little, I guess, collage papers. So we're going to do that next. And this one ended up looking like this when I did it the first time. So as you can see, again, it's kind of translucent. I'm going to try to, I'm really not going to replicate this because that's the beauty of it. It kind of just does whatever. But I'm going to try to do this again. And I'm going to use a new piece of parchment paper. Okay. So grab your parchment paper on this one. Since there's already an image on here, I'm not going to put an image on here or stamp it. I'm not going to add necessarily any like chalk to it, but I am going to do a little bit of crayon on the back of it. So I'm going to get my wax, and I'm going to actually, well, let me just do this. I'm going to get my wax, and I think I have some blue in here. So a blue's going to come through. So I'm going to tap some blue into that so you can see my blue, the darker pieces there, the blue crayon. All right. I'm going to layer this on top. Actually, I'm going to put, let's do like I think I'm going to try the marmalade this time again. I didn't do this the last time, but I really like the green on it. I think it's gorgeous. So maybe we'll do both. So this is Spice Marmalade Oxide spray. I'm just going to do a little bit on this one. And I'm going to do another color in Peeled Paint, which I love this little green. It's so beautiful. In the bottom here. And I'm getting it all over the place. I'm going to layer this on top. And I'm going to add some more of my black embossing powder. So let me try to get closer. Ooh, sorry. All right, so on this one, oops, so that's what it looks like. On this one, I'm going to try to leave like the top portion of this. If you look on this side, this entire side doesn't have like a lot of wax on it. So I'm going to try to leave it kind of white, or that doesn't have wax on it. So I'm going to just try to do this side on top. I don't know what's going to happen on the bottom, what's over there, but I'm going to put some more oxide spray, peel paint, on top of it. There we go. And I'm going to put some more wax on top of it. Okay. And then I'm going to sandwich this together. Uh-oh. Sandwich this together, and I'm going to just press it. And it's bubbling. I can hear it. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's bubbling. Which is okay. Don't be scared if the bubbles and sizzles. Turn that. So this time it went through the entire sheet. I think I had a lot of wax on the bottom of it. So we'll see what comes of it. And turn this over. And let's see, it's cooling down a bit. Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at that. Ooh wee, yes indeed. Look at, and get your waxes off, your wax off the edge. But look how pretty that turned out. And so on the back side, that's what it looks like. You can see right through it. And the front side, this is what we ended up getting. See that? Just gorgeous. I love it. So these are now our two. And that's the thing I love about these, is that they really can come out any way that you do them. They really can come out in a variety of different ways. So just play and see what you come up with. It's really beautiful. So that's number 2. And we're going to try to do a few of them together. And I'm going to use the same sheet because I want to see what happens. We're going to try this one right here. We're going to try some the postcards together, and we'll see what happens there. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some wax on the bottom of this over the entire sheet. And I'm not going to put as much as I put the last time, because I really just want this to be, I want to have some white spots on this one. So I'm going to put some squeezed lemonade just on this, just in a random place, just to see what happens. I'm going to do peel paint. And Kitsch Flamingo. So Kitsch Flamingo on the bottom of this. I'm just curious as to see what's going to happen. And keep in mind, we have a lot of the old like inks and embossing powder and wax from the last time we did this one here. So it's gonna pick that up also. And so we're just gonna layer these down on top of these and just see what we get. You know, you never know what's gonna happen here. So we're gonna just see what we get. And I imagine it's gonna be gorgeous, because it's gonna be gorgeous. So I'm gonna do this little one right here. Okay. And then we're going to do the top portion. And so again, you want to use your black embossing powder to just sort of go around and just, you know, add stuff on the edges there. Around all of your papers, your sheets. And we might even toss in some embossing glaze. I have a couple of different colors here, and see what we get from it. Okay. I don't think I want that on there, so I'm going to brush that off. I'm going to brush this one off a bit. Okay. So I have the speckled egg embossing glaze. And I just want to see what happens when I put this on here. So I'm going to try a couple of spots on here. I don't know what's going to do, but I'll try on the white. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. And then we're going to, maybe we can add some pink, some Kitsch Flamingo onto that and see what we get. Let's do this one over here and just see what we get. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing with our oxide sprays by splattering on all of them. Oops. And not crush off, we're going to use peel paint. Okay. Oh, awesome. And the last one we're going to do is a little bit of squeezed lemonade. Alrighty. So now we just need to close this up and hopefully it folds all the way over. It doesn't just scoot it in there. Oops, we don't want to do that. Scoot that over some. Scoot that in. And then let's close it. Oh geez, this is like taking over this one. Okay. I think we're good. Almost. Okay, close that. And let's just iron it. Did I put... No, I did not. I need to put some more of this on here. Oh, geez. Close that up. Okay, we're going to iron this all together. I think the fun part about these is that you just never know how it's going to turn out. And so there's that little white that I was talking about that just creates some cool effects on the front side of it. But you never know what you're going to get with these because you can never create the same thing twice. Like you just can't. No matter how you try, it's just not going to happen because that's just the nature of it, right? Is that it's unique. Every single one of them you make is different. And so let's just let this cool down a bit. Cool down a bit, cool down a bit, cool down a bit. Okay. All right. Cool enough to open. And let's see what we get. Get some wax off of it. And there's the first one. It came out. Very cool. So it's still got some parts that didn't get the wax, but it looks very, very cool and distressed and awesome. There's that one. I think the last one I did of that one looked like this. So it really can vary. I just finished this one. That's one I did earlier. So it just comes out all differently all the time. So there's those two. This one. One came out pretty differently also. Here's the first version that I showed you guys. And now here's this one. Pretty cool. And this one came out very cool. Look at that. It looks like confetti. And here's the first version I showed you. And in here is this one. Super cool. And the last one is this one. So here's this one came out. And here's how this one kind of came out. So you see this is the first one and this is the one I just did. You see in the back there. So it's still kind of translucent a bit. You can still see through it. There you go. There you are. So those are all waxed. And then I think the last two I want to do is the actual tissue paper. I've never really done tissue paper yet. We're going to use the same sheet here, and I'm going to try this one because I want to see what it looks like with, I don't know, oxide ink. So I'm going to stamp these actually with some other shenanigans. So there's those. Let's stamp this one. I think I want to do this one with this big one. This stamp was a favorite stamp of mine for the longest time. I love this stamp. I used to make jewelry with it. I used to make all kinds of things with this stamp. I don't think I got the whole entire tissue, but that's all right. Oops. There you go. That works. And for this one, I think I am going to use this stamp. I used this one earlier. I'm going to use this stamp again to see what I can create out of it. And just do that. Okay. There we go. All right. So for this one, I'm going to saturate the bottom of this with wax because this is a thicker paper. And so I want to make sure I have enough wax to get through it. So you can definitely do that. You can use a variety of papers actually to wax. I wanted to try a paper doll and see what it looked like, so I might do that a little bit. But you can use a variety of papers. But I want to put a lot of wax on the bottom of this so that it gets through and saturates this one. So I think for this one, I'm going to try Kitsch Flamingo on the bottom. So I want to see what it does. Oops, I'm making a mess. Okay. And I'm going to try Stormy Sky. Whoops. I really like Stormy Sky. Okay. So I'm going to put this on top of this one. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put Kitsch Flamingo and Stormy Sky on here. Oh, that's good. That's a good drip. And then I'm going to also do the black on the edges as best as I can. Okay, for that one. And then for this one, I'm just going to borrow some of these because this is tissue paper, so I don't think I need too much on the bottom because it's going to soak right through it. Like it's just going to go right through it. So all I'm going to do is just try to get my edges for this one. And I'm going to put some there. That's good enough for me. And I want to try some Kitsch Flamingo for this one also. I think I need more pink on this one. Okay. And I'm going to do some peel paint on here. I know. And then we need to put some on top. Some wax and put wax on top of this one. Alrighty. I think we're ready to rock and roll with this bad boy. And we're going to just iron this. Just iron it. I'm going to try to saturate this one with Make sure it gets through to the other side of my, putting the iron on this one and just going through it. Okay. So I'm gonna let this cool down to the bottom, or the back looks like. Awesome. I'm just gonna let this cool down a bit, and we shall see what we get after this, the end of this cool down. I really do love making these. I just think they're so cool, and I think that it's just a great way to add some extra, I guess, depth to your work by making these little things. So my tissue paper is done, and so I'm just going to peel it and see what I get. So you can still see through it, but here is a little bit more distress. It's waxed. So all the stuff in here is like trapped in here. So there's the tissue paper. I don't know that I'm a fan of the tissue paper, honestly. I think it's all right, but had to try it. And then here is the, so you can kind of, it makes it a little bit translucent there. You can see my hand underneath it. But here's the back of it, and here's the front. So definitely, I think this works a whole lot better on lighter paper. But I think you can do really cool effects with like craft paper and whatnot. I think I may actually try something. So I think part of that is because when it comes to wax papers, you want to use a new sheet of parchment like every time, honestly, because I think it's better. You know, if you're using like a one you've already used before, it can get kind of like that stuff right there. But if you use a brand new sheet, it gives you some really cool effects. So make sure you do that. I'm going to try and see if I can kind of fix that here. Let me see this cool down. So, because really you should be getting these like dots and stuff like on this one is what you really should be getting. So it's a little bit better in the front here. So my dots. All right, so that is how we make some wax papers, folks. And I'm just going to go through and show you all the things we made tonight. Hopefully this gives you an idea of how to do these on your own. But here is our stack of papers. Let me put these together so we can see all of our friends together here. All right, so here's our these two. I did this one tonight. This one was first, and I did this one on camera. Here's the back of them. Lovely. This is our craft paper. This is more of a cardstock. This is a regular copy paper that I stamped and did some embossing, some oxide inks, and some chalk. And this is what we got. And can you guys see these? Let me put this up closer. Here's this way. And then these are the two other collage papers. Here we go. These two match. So here we go. This one is more like confetti. I like it a lot. There's that. And then we have these. Yummy goodness. Look at that. Ooh, look at that. Mmm. Yes. And then last but not least, here are our last two. Look at that. Beautiful. Two papers. So, like I said, you know, these are just a lot of fun to make. I love making them, and just to see what you get. You can paint with it, and make sure you're using parchment paper, not wax paper, and that you are using a fresh sheet every time. You can use candle just a regular candle from the dollar store or wherever else. And so here are some more that we made, or I made tonight, kind of on here. And you can just, have a lot of fun with it. Don't feel like you have to kind of pressure yourself to make it look a certain way. It's just meant to be fun. And so I would encourage you to try it and let me know how it turns out. If you have any questions about anything, please let me know. And I will talk to you guys a little bit later. So have a good one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.